Hey guys, I'm Chantel and welcome to Intentional Homeschooling. I feel like I need to do a little bit of like a update, news, all the things first before we get into our September morning basket. So we've had a bit of a life change in the last week. Two of our foster kids are gone. One is supposed to be leaving. Jared and I started a podcast actually. Our second episode just came out this week. We shared a little bit more about all that. Then I'll leave it linked below in case you're curious. We're talking about all things family, life, doing all that with the love of Jesus, like reigning over all. Yeah, so we are down 2 kids right now, should be down 3 in the next while, but with fostering, sometimes they say a date and it doesn't always happen, so we'll see. But I have a little bit more time then as a result, and I'm just excited to get back into being more consistent here. I'm hoping to share a video weekly, and then I've started, like just barely started, to use the Intentional Homeschooling blog more, and I'm taking it from just being homeschool stuff to more like intentional home stuff, which just opens it up to pretty much anything. Honestly, anything that's not like my books for the most part will be on there, because I have a whole BookTube channel for all of that. But if you're interested in more homeschool content, more like home content, which covers a lot of things, stay tuned here, check out the blog, and also follow me on Instagram. I'm also doing more sharing there, sharing what we've kind of been doing in our homeschool day, resources we're loving, all sorts of things like that. So that's where I plan for this to go. Hopefully there will be a new video up probably Wednesday each week. That is my goal. But of course life happens. So today I want to talk about our morning basket. A friend of mine mentioned a few weeks ago to me that they were going to start that again this year because they enjoyed it in the past, and it kind of was like, yeah, we should do that too, because we have enjoyed it, but with the season that we were in the last season we didn't really use it, and so this feels like a good time to restart. So how many, I think we've been doing it 2 weeks now. Yeah, I think we've been doing our morning basket for 2 weeks. So that was our slow start into our homeschool year. We started with just the morning basket for 2 weeks, and then this week we've started actually doing our whole homeschool. I do plan on sharing kind of our homeschool routine and what we're going to be using for like curriculum and stuff next week. That is my plan. But I wanted to start with the morning basket first, since that's what we started with first this year. So I think last year we started out strong with the morning basket, and then it fell by the wayside right away. But I shared a video sharing like the different components that I like to have in our morning basket, and I don't have exactly all of those here, but I have a number of them, and I wanted to start out fairly small for September, as I didn't want to get overwhelmed right at the beginning. I thought if we kind of started small, then October we can like add in one extra thing. So let's just get into it. The first thing that we are going to be doing, we haven't started it yet, is playing a game, having a game in it each time. And I don't think we're going to play this game every time, maybe like once or twice a week. And we've had Quirkle for a long time, and I don't know if we really ever played it. It's just a bunch of cubes, squares, with different shapes and colors, except these are both exactly the same shape and color. And I think it's kind of like Scramble-esque, except that you have to lay the shapes by the same shape or by the same color. We will look it up yet and figure it out. Wow, there's a lot of green circles. I have a whole blog post that's fairly old already now on my site about some of our favorite family games. I can leave that linked below. I do plan on updating that soon because I have some more to add to that. Plus my kids are getting older, so some of the ones that were on that old post we don't use anymore. Then I'm also going to be reading a novel each time, about a chapter a day, and I have said over the years, if you've been here at all, I keep saying that I'm not good at reading aloud, but this is a really good way to start if you aren't good at reading aloud. This book is Little Cat's Luck. It is a companion to Little Dog Lost, and it's a free verse novel, so like the chapters are short, the words are short, and I feel like with reading aloud, while I know where to pause, I read so fast that I just start getting, I stumble, like it's like I'm doing right now. And with the free verse, it's like, okay, end of the sentence, leave a little pause, I feel like is really good for learning to read aloud, or for those of us who need a little bit more practice. So we are reading Little Cat's Luck, and the chapters are short. Currently I've only been doing a chapter a day, so we're on chapter 9 right now, but we will do more as time goes, I think, especially if we're going to be having one less kid again, then I feel like we'll be able to have time for more. I love both Little Cat's Luck and Little Dog Lost. I read them to at least my daughter years ago, but she doesn't remember it, so that's fun. If you like free verse and want to try another companion duo, there's Love That Dog and Hate That Cat. They're also really fun, and they have less words per page even than these, so they might be better to start with if you want something, you know, very easy to start with. While we're talking about reading aloud, I also have been doing a picture book a day. So we've been going through some of our old favorites, and that has been a lot of fun because I haven't pulled these out for a very long time. My kids are 9 and she'll be like 12 next week or the week after. I'm losing track of the days. I think in 2 weeks. And so we haven't read a whole lot of picture books in the last year, 2, but I want to get back into it because a really good picture book is a lot of fun, and then I can have some good ones to share, because there's also a lot of not good picture books that I can weed through. Okay, so then what else we're using here is How Great Is Our God? This is 100 indescribable devotions about God and science. So this is by Louis Giglio. I think this is a little bit more like my son's like 9-ish level. I feel like maybe my daughter's a little bit old for it. At the same time, it's a devotional, so there's like a verse and then like the typical devotion, and then there's a section called How Great, and it's like true facts about science, and it alternates between, this one is like space, earth, animals, and people. So you get to learn about all the different areas. So it's really good, like adding in science to your day without really even trying, and it doesn't take very long. Okay, and then something that I have had for a long time but we've never used in our homeschool is, this is by William J. Bennett. It is the Book of Virtues, which sounds, I don't know, maybe more intense or moralistic than it is. He has another book that we also own, another set, and I can't remember what it's called. But this one is broken down into 12 different virtues, I think. So we're currently doing self-discipline. Oh, there's 10. Self-discipline, and then it's compassion, responsibility, friendship, work, courage, perseverance, honesty, loyalty, and faith. And each of these has 30-ish short stories and poems to go with them. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm already finding favorite poets. So there is a poem, and I shared this on Instagram a week or 2 ago when we read it. There's a poem called Rebecca, and the little subtitle here is Who Slammed Doors for Fun and Perished Miserably. So it's very much a cautionary tale in poem form. It's pretty funny. The kids really enjoyed it. After this, my son definitely slammed the door and then opened it and was like, oops, sorry, I don't want to perish miserably. Yeah, so this is a lot of fun. I thought it was going to be a little bit like in your face, but it's mostly pretty light and funny, but brings up a way to talk about the virtue, I guess. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it. And then we recently just read Jim, who's by the same author as Rebecca. Jim, who ran away from his nurse and was eaten by a lion. So there's a poem about how he ran away from his nurse and was eaten by his lion, and when the nurse informed his parents, they were like, well, it gives me no surprise. He would not do as he was told. Yeah, cautionary tales. Yeah, so it's surprising to me how much I'm enjoying this, and they're enjoying it too. One thing I always like to do is bedtime math. I think there's 3 books in this series now. We have This Time It's Personal, so they're just like little stories, not really stories, facts about different things, and then they have math questions, and it's broken down into wee ones, little kids, big kids, and bonus. And even though my kids are in like the big kids and bonus section, we still go through the wee kids questions. So this one's like, each of your fingers has 3 bones, but each toe only has 2. Which one has more bones, your finger or your toe? So if you have a variety of ages, you know, you start with this and you go into the sections and you can have like your little kids answer this. Currently my big kids are just doing all of them. Little kids, you were born without real kneecaps. They start out mushy and don't harden until age 4 or 5. If you have 3 babies and 2 grown-ups in the room, how many real kneecaps are there? Each person has 2 legs, but only some kneecaps count. And they just get harder. And I don't know, we really enjoy this, the humor in here, and it's a fun way to do math. Okay, and then the last thing is something I bought off of Book Outlet kind of randomly. I didn't know really what it was, and I don't normally do that. Normally I try to like look at it a bit more. Speaking of Book Outlet though, it is my favorite place to buy our homeschool books because I can get them all at a discount. They don't always have the same things in stock. It's like overstock from different stores. If you've never purchased from Book Outlet before, I'll leave my code below because you can get $5 off your first order. I got this from Book Outlet. I got this from Book Outlet. I got this from Book Outlet. And then I got this from Book Outlet. So pretty much everything. The Book of Virtues I found at a thrift store. And Quirkle I think we bought from Amazon. So the Book Outlet, it has, I think like a lot of our homeschool stuff in the last year or two has been from there. So this is Challenging Picture Puzzles. Over 75 timed puzzles to test your skills. So every morning, sometimes they're doing this while I'm doing the read aloud, sometimes it needs more brain power than that. There is just some kind of puzzle. So today we did find the 4-leaf clover. So in here there's a bunch of 3-leaf clovers and you just have to find, see if it will focus, find the one that is 4-leaf clover. And so they were doing that while I was doing some reading, and you can time it and then you try to beat that time. I have a kid that this would cause way too much anxiety, so we don't time it. There was like a caterpillar hiding in the salad. Can you find it? Some of them are harder than others. How many animals can the giraffe see? This is just for fun. I like brain teasers, and this one is super simple. I just have to like read it and hand it to them kind of thing. But I feel like it's a fun part of the morning. So I would like to get into doing a little bit of poetry in the morning. We do like to do poetry tea time as a separate thing as well, but I would like book poems to just read a poem a day, even though we already are in the Book of Virtues. I think that would be a lot of fun because I really enjoy poetry, so I'd like to include that. And then a few different things in October. We'll swap out probably, I guess we won't be quite done this yet, so we might continue this for October, but we might swap out some different things, swap out the game. I'm kind of going to have a new basket each month or so I'll probably do a new video on that each month. If you want links to any of these things, I'll try to find the links and include it in the description below, and I'll also have a blog post with some of this information as well. So thanks so much for being here, guys.